This is an extension of a project called Water Stories. Water Stories is an oral history project that I completed as part of the Urban Bird Project. The project documents the water stories of people who live near bodies of water and have a deep connection to the sacred stories water holds. This project highlights Indigenous knowledge handed down from generations and the ecological wisdom that individuals hold. The project contains interviews with 5 women between the ages of 70 and 83. These women are matriarchs with Indigenous roots who have lived in San Antonio most of their lives. My interview questions were meant to draw out generational and ecological knowledge. During the interviews, I observed that most of these women have knowledge that is inherent, passed down generationally, or formally educated through academia. Yet, the knowledge that I seek is explicitly indigenous and intergenerational. I presume that because of European colonial mentality and white supremacist patriarchy in the US, many of the women I interviewed were not directly given this knowledge as indigenous knowledge. One woman that I had the pleasure of interviewing is named Gloria Camarillo Vasquez. Gloria Camarillo Vasquez is a woman of Native descent. She, unlike many native to San Antonio, knows her background and her tribes. She is Huachichil from Mexico and Tapilam Hualhuitecan. She is a direct descendant of the native people of Yanaguana. She is a curandera and community activist. She is also the matriarch of one of 5 families that created the nonprofit American Indians of Texas at the Spanish colonial missions, and a former council member. She also founded a nonprofit organization called Círculo de Chispas, whose main initiative is to provide undergarments for underserved children in Title I schools. As I spoke to her and interviewed her, I realized that she was one of few women who was gifted the knowledge of her indigenous ancestors by her mother and grandmother. This is why I chose to expand on our interview and dive deeper into the teachings she holds regarding the sacredness of water and the ecological knowledge that can help the next generation preserve and protect our water.
Buenos días, Andy. Bienvenida a mi casita Camarillo. I am so happy to have you in our presence. People that come to my casita are blessings. They bless my casita, they bless me, and they bless all that surrounds me or that embraces me, leaving your energy. And so I want to thank you for coming in to visit Casita Camarillo and leaving your energy here with us. Water has always been essential in my life. It's not only life, but for me, it's medicine. It's a medicine that we all need on a daily basis. Without water, we could never survive. Plants, animals, nor us. And we all should be grateful for water. And when I begin my day, we're in front of my altar. I guess, can you see my altar? This is my altar. And coming out of my little bedroom, the first thing I do in the morning, I come and bless my hands. I bless my hands and I take a drink of water. I drink my water, which has been sitting here all night, being blessed. So my water blesses. So this is the first thing that I do in the morning. And of course, in addition to blessing myself, I give thanks first to the Creator and to my guides, who are my ancestors, my grandmothers, my grandfathers, and of course my brother who has passed. And these represents people that have passed on. My doggies too. I have my little an altar is also serves as prayers for my dogs, who I had them for about 16 years, and I still remember them and love them dearly. I have here, of course, medicine. I don't know if you're familiar with the peyote. So the peyote is also a very special medicine in my home. It blesses me. We have the more medicina, the copal, And of course, always light and offerings, the rocks are from my ancestors' homeland, Zacatecas. When I bless myself, I also ask the rocks for blessings in the Madre Tierra.
Think back to your memories with water in nature. What plants and animals shared your water stories? How did they participate in your gathering of knowledge? Do you have a story that includes these beings?
The deer teaches awareness, how to be grateful, how for us to be gentle. They also teach us how to be observant when they're to get us ready to take action, but not in a fighting way, but to be prepared with all that spirit, with a good spirit, with kindness. But that's what I believe. That's what the teachings from the deer can teach us, so we can teach our children discipline and how to be aware of their surroundings. It's so very important, whether they be in the water in the rivers or around fire. They have to always be careful and be aware and to be gentle. And when I say gentle, when they're near the water, they must be very gentle with the water. And just like the deer, the butterfly. What does the butterfly teaches us? It teaches us transformation, not to fear. Change is good. And just like they are in the cocoon, all wrapped up, it's just like when we're in the sacred waters of our mother, and then we just bloom. We see the light, and with that first breath or that gritito when we're babies, it's just amazing. It just the butterfly, and then we become beautiful human beings. And I don't mean features, because we come in all shapes and sizes, but we're our spirit. If we're good and kind, and we accept change, the spirit speaks for us. Así que the butterfly around Yanaguana, not only around the rivers, but if you ever been to the Blue Hole, you see beautiful butterflies. And I like to visit the Blue Hole because I feel so connected to the water. I feel like it's when the water tells me the stories of my ancestors. And what else do we see around the Blue Hole? The turtle. And what does the turtle teaches us? The turtle teaches us that we must move with intention, and we'll get there. Just like she carries her house on her back, we carry those blessings of our ancestors within us. She teaches us balance, how to take one day at a time. And again, everything we do, we must do it with intention. And that intention, so that we're manifesting, will get us there. And to be near the water in the Blue Hole, it's just an amazing, beautiful place to set intentions, because that's where you feel connected to your ancestors. For over 20,000 years ago, we know that our ancestors have been praying there. There was a trading place for the natives from up north, meeting with the Chichimecas, the Huachichil, that's where my bloodline comes from. Así so que that the Blue Hole reminds me of my strength, of all that makes me, my experiences, my the beautiful life that I have lived, and all thanks to be around water, because water sustains us.
The Blue Hole is a famous artesian spring, now occupied by the Sisters of Charity of the Incarnate Word. It is a sacred site of the Gualuitecan Native American people who are indigenous to San Antonio. They called the springs Yanaguana. It is the site of their creation story.
Así que around Yanaguana estaba un ojo de agua. Y el ojo de agua, like now, is we call it the blue hole. Pero en ese tiempo, the water bird, la angina, that's the water bird that we see all over, flying around Yanaguana. Así que one day, again, como un día como estos, andaba la angina buscando agua y se daba vueltas y vueltas, and then all of a sudden she looks down and she sees un ojo de agua, and she says, aquí tengo mucha sed. So she dips into the water y sale. Shh, la asustó una Blue Panther. The Blue Panther vivía allí en el ojo de agua, y cuando saltó la angina, droplets cayeron en la tierra. Y esas droplets le dieron vida a los coahuiltecos. Y de ahí los coahuiltecos started cultivating, y de ahí vino las ardillitas, vinieron los venaditos, and now we call it the blue hole. Plants teach us how to get out of darkness. Okay, if you see this cacti right here, it's just so beautiful. And how does this plant teaches us how to get out of darkness? Look at her, how she sways towards light. And that is telling us that we too must always be seeking for the light, for this beautiful light that the Creator gives us. And, it just amazes me how every day the plants, continue to teach us, just as our animals that surround Yanaguana. Isn't that just a beautiful name, Yanaguana? It just gives you, and listen how I feel like the trees are talking to us right now. The beautiful wind. If something is destroyed, for example, una lumbre destroys a casita. If we all come together, we can build that casita again for our neighbor. We can build anything that the Creator teaches us how to work collectively. Así que I think we all need to be hormiguitas all the time and help each other, so we can make this a better world for us to continue living for the new generations.